Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by. My name's Lydia Masaibi and I'm part of the team behind The Secret Story Drawer, a unique initiative full of optimism and whose mission is to open up opportunities for Black and Asian minority ethnic animators and illustrators in this industry we all love. Today we're presenting a discussion with some amazing people about the challenges and opportunities they have faced and why initiatives like this one are so important. Stick around to the end and you can find out more about how you can get involved and help be part of the change. Thanks for watching and enjoy the show.
I think the diversity and how badly the kids industry is at diversity has been a surprise for me.
The fact that we know that that diversity is good, is a net kind of positive for the industry, the business that you're in. We know that there's a problem. We know that the problem isn't just existing at an entry level, it's also existing at the highest levels as well.
For a very long time, I keep on saying, well, it's the way it is. It is the way it is. But I'm trying to break myself out of that mindset of like, wait, why is it the way it is? Why should it be that way? But I didn't really feel like there's a much effort to kind of seek out people from these places that you wouldn't really normally search for. Things are changing, and that part is really exciting to see. I'm honestly very impressed by all the different initiatives that I'm seeing starting to pop up.
The pandemic has helped us with our reflections on what's important. We need to be looking at things from an anti-racist stance, visualization about how we present people in a positive light, especially for children, and how can we make sure that marginalised people in the industry, their talents are finally recognised out from this.
I think there is a lack of opportunity for minorities in the industry. I think it has a lot to do with culture, with Black culture or Asian culture. Minority people don't tend to have parents that would encourage children to go into that area because it just doesn't seem as secure.
I think if you get a diversity of thought, of cultures, you get more better stories. I've had to deal with some quite shocking stereotyping in some of the pitches because the producers haven't taken the time to learn about the cultures of the people they're trying to represent in their ideas. It's not always done from a horrible place. They are trying, but it's just the lack of understanding. I hope what comes out of this is something incredibly positive and a huge change to the way we work.
I definitely think the campaign is needed. I think it's amazing that we have white people seeing the issue and helping minorities to get into jobs that are quite difficult for them to get into. I think it opens up the eyes for everyone to see.
It's a really great initiative. I think it will spark a lot of interest from kids, gives the opportunity for people's work to be seen. When they see their work next to a renowned author, it will be a really nice, rewarding thing.
You can't say, go and get experience to a young person who comes from a low-income family. We need to press the pause button and say, well, actually, how can we effectively help individuals who are marginalised in society, who are probably super talented, to give them that leg up in terms of true equality of opportunity.
Employ people who are very talented already at what they do. So there will be Black animators out there who have worked on massive shows. Give them jobs. There will be Black animators who have been making films on the internet that are amazing and in film festivals that don't know how to get to your company, but don't need to necessarily come in at an outreach level or at a grassroots level. They just come in and get paid straight away. So I think it's, to make our industry diverse, it's important that these roles are from head all the way down to grassroots. It shouldn't just be grassroots up.
I think the creative industry isn't really described at all there is no clear trajectory towards getting there. You're left to figure that out on your own, and we as a minority need to be told that from an earlier stage, as opposed to finding these things out on your own at a later stage. I think it is up to the companies at some point to start making themselves known to minorities and saying that this is a viable option and this can be a successful, this can lead to a successful career to you.
Being able to capture the innocence and being able to capture the wonder that kids have, and just like help kids understand their emotions a lot better. I think that's something that's incredible, because like that means that we're kind of raising a generation of more emotionally intelligent kids.
I began saying it earlier, relatable characters. So having people that they can recognize and maybe say, oh, that person is like my best friend, or that person's like my mom or my dad. It's really about story. I think story is at the heart of animation. If you have a strong story, almost the look doesn't matter. It supports the story. But you can kind of do as many things as you want. You can go for whatever type of look you want, as long as the story is strong.
They like personality and difference and energy, I think. And I think that, the things that are successful kind of open up, great imaginary worlds for kids.
Firstly, fun. Fun comes first, and it's so important that fun comes first. But to make really great content, I think you just want to, the work I do anyway, I like to reflect the real world and make that fun. So, fun in it every day, that's kind of my sort of thing, and that's the sort of work that I try to make.
Interesting characters that the viewers can relate to. I think characters that may have real world problems that children can relate to as well. I think character is key, and that's what can engage a lot of children, a lot of viewers.
I would say probably Lloyd of the Flies at Aardman is a really, really brilliant, really sweet project that's coming together.
I think it's inspiring families, and especially children, especially with the work that, with Jojo and Gran, and making sure that children can be seen, and knowing that my professional and lived experience is of value.
There was the short film that I worked on when I was at Pixar was a short film called Loop. And the short film was about this young girl who had nonverbal autism. The most important part was that it just opened me up to this world that I was completely unaware of, and it was something I never really had to experience. My
thing that really gets me passionate and going is telling diverse stories with Black protagonists. That is the thing that keeps me going and working out.
Animating on Dennis and Nasher, because growing up I used to read a lot of the Beano, Beano every week. I used to buy it every week, and if you had told me then that I would have worked on the TV show, a few years later, that would have been crazy to me. So totally, Dennis and Nasher would be, the show that I'm most proud of working on.
Be bold, don't be afraid to represent the cultures that you represent. We want, that representation on screen. Just be fearless and really just go for it and just have fun with it as well.
To believe that I'm unique, to don't see my dyslexia or where I came from as a barrier, and to focus on my self-worth, my self-esteem.
So it will really be about, having the confidence to know that their opportunities will constantly emerge, and those new things that come about, throw yourself in them, early, get to understand them, and you will become, a specialist and an expert in those spaces, which those spaces will become rewarding. I think that will be the biggest bit of advice, but it's about also having that kind of patience and resilience within the industry as well, because You know, it can be complex, it can be confusing, but the more time you stick with it, the more it all makes a little bit more sense.
There's an old saying for animators that animators are master observers, and you can't create the illusion of life if you've never experienced life. So I think that's really important, is that just kind of go outside, essentially.
Be really audacious with your hopes and dreams. Like, if you're watching, if you go to the cinema every week with your parent or guardian or whoever, and you're watching that movie and you're like, you know what, I could make that better. Or do you know what? I've got this story that's going to be so sick, and it's a $200 million movie. Don't let no damn person tell you can't make that $200 movie, and just stay on that track to make it.
Definitely follow the path of drawing. Make sure you do what makes you happy, basically, because art is very subjective, and if you keep going, if you keep practicing, you can do amazing things.